We do, right? Isn't it known amongst us as a community, we always have an evil eye towards each other, right? You walk up and down the street, they want to rob you, right? And by they, I mean your own brothers. Kill you, right? Steal you, rape you, right? Take violence, gang violence, all things of that nature. Go on.
And toward the wife of his bosom.
And toward the wife of his bosom. That's what you call domestic violence, right? Within your own household, you have the mother and the father always arguing, right? Disputing to the point where they lay hands on each other, to the point where the police have to intervene, right? Go on.
And toward the remnant of his children, which he shall lead.
And who's known for leaving their children? Which men? Yep, the guys, but what's their nationality, demographics? What colored people, I should say, are known for leaving their children? So-called black people, right?
Verse 55. So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat.
Right. He's not going to give him anything because he left. He's long gone. Go on.
Because he have nothing left in the sage.
Right. Now jump to verse 41.
Verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them.
Let's rewind, right? We mentioned in verse 68 that we were sold into another people, right? To really the so-called white people, right? So read that again.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them.
Right. You're going to have sons and daughters, but you're not going to enjoy their presence. Why?
For they shall go into captivity.
They are going to go into captivity as well. Which people can closely relate to that? Well, hold that, go to Job. What's that, 4 and 7?
Hey. That's right, brother.
I was about to go to like verse 49 where it says, the nation that don't care about the young. Oh yeah, remember I pray thee who perish be innocent. This is the book of Job, chapter 4, verse 7. Remember I pray thee, whoever perish being innocent.
So you might say they're innocent, but in the eyes of the Lord, they're not innocent, right? Because they must have did something terrible in their past life, not to get too deep, but they must have did something terrible, or they did do something terrible in their past life to receive that judgment, right? 9 times out of 10. Go back to Deuteronomy 28. 41.
God, Deuteronomy 28 and verse 41. And it says, thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
Right. Surely our children, they went into captivity, right? In the hands of the so-called white man, right?
God. Verse 43. The stranger, verse 42. All thy trees and fruit of thy land shall the locust consume.
Right.
The stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
And who's above us today in society? Yeah, yes, he is. But in mortal man, right? In a mortal man sense, right? In terms of nations, which people are above us? White people, right? And that's not the scriptures, right? We showing you prophecy that's playing out today.
Yep, that's right.
Go to Deuteronomy 28 and 41. It's like 47.
Bring it out.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with the gladness of heart for the abundance of all things, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
Right, so we're going to further prove that the white man owns everything, right? So he said, look, because you don't want to worship me and serve me and keep my commandments, now you have to serve your enemies. The same enemies that we spoke about in Deuteronomy 28 to 68th chapter.
That's right.
All right? The same ones that sold us here, right? And brought us here by boat. All right, go on.
And hunger.
And hunger. Where do you go when you're hungry, Brandy? Restaurants, right? You might like Chipotle, Chick-fil-A, Five Guys, Butchers. You might like, one of those restaurants, right? And who owns them? White people, right?
And in thirst.
Thirst. You want that Niagara Falls water over there? Who you go to? And where he buy that from? The white people, right? So whether you want your water, your Gatorade, your Pepsi, your Sprite, your Coca-Cola, your Starbucks, all owned by white people, Brandy. Go on.
And the nakedness.
And then nakedness. You want your tiger shirt, you want this shirt, you want this shirt, you want these pants, you want the boots, you want your Vans. Who owns them? So-called white people. Right? So you gotta go to the so-called white man for everything. That's right. Even your money. Who owns the money? Who printed the money? Who gave you the money? So-called white people. Right?
And then one of all things.
Right, as we mentioned, as in one of all things. You want to get on that boat, first you need a license. Then you need some type of insurance, right? You want to go over there to Canada, you need a certain, ID, right? You got to go to Secretary of State first. Get the little start. That's right. So anything that you can think of, you have to go to the so-called white man, right? The stroller, which is not cheap, right? Strollers are not cheap. You want your Michael Kors bag, you want your iPhone, you want your iWatch, you gotta go to the so-called white man. And one of all things. You want your Timberlands, go to him. Nikes, go to him. And we could go on. Just know that he owns everything. Alright? What's more proof? You can hold that and go to Job 9:24. Now, would you say the white man, the way they treated us, was that kindness or wickedness? It was
Right.
wickedness.
That's right, sister. This is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. And it reads, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
The scripture said the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, right? And how do white people treat us? Wickedly, right? And don't the white people own everything? Right, so we're proving to you that white man owns everything. Everything's in the palm of his hand. All right? It all goes back to the curses.
And it says, in the nakedness, and the one of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Destroyed us to a point where our people sagging, right? Our women are sagging and they shouldn't be wearing pants, right?
That's right.
Our men wearing dresses. Our men are real effeminate, right? This is how destroyed we are. And this is all by the hands of the so-called white man because she promotes and pushes that vibration on the earth, right? That wicked vibration. Because ever since we've been amongst the so-called white people, we had nothing but misery and sorrow, right?
That's right.
I just overheard what you said. You said,
Sirach 11:7.
you said the white man did what?
He put us into slavery.
What you said about him though? What that mean?
I said he did wickedness towards us.
So we supposed to hate him?
Brother, I didn't bring that up. Hold on, I know. I got you, brother.
Hate the white people or just keep living our lives?
Amos 5:15. I got you.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 11 and verse 7. Blame not before thou hast examined the truth. Understand first and then rebuke.
You gotta understand that everything what we're saying, right? You jumped in and said, well, what am I know you asked, but you asked that one question based off the one thing that we said. When you didn't understand and try to understand everything we were saying in totality. Bring that up.
Amos 5 and what?
5:15, Job 9:24.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 15. Hate the evil and love the good, and establish judgment at the gate.
Right. The scripture said, hate the evil, right?
Bring that up.
This is the book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24. And it reads, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Are the wicked not evil? Right? Hold on, wait, hold on. Let me make my point. Let me make my point real quick. Aren't the wicked evil? We can all agree. Yes, the wicked is
Hey.
evil, right?
Hey,
yeah,
brother.
Yeah, we met him
Hey,
earlier.
yeah.
It is what. Like,
He's at the shop.
The wicked, right? The wicked, aren't they the evil, right?
Right.
So what did the Lord say? Read that one more time.
This is the book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof.
Right, that wicked, he covers the faces of the true judges and the men of the Lord. Go on.
If not, where and who is he?
So who owns the world? Let's be real, huh?
The white people.
What do you say, brother?
Who owns the world?
Yeah.
God owns the world.
And God
Come on, brother. Obviously, the Lord, he rules everything. He has authority over everything.
Right.
But in terms of nations,
Yeah.
who owns everything, brother?
In terms of nations,
Yes.
I don't know. Who owns everything?
Sister, why do you say the white man owns everything?
because we have to buy things from the white people. Like my shoes, I have to go to
Him,
white
right?
man to go get what I want.
All right. So, brother, everything you wearing, everything you got, everything you own in your house is from the so-called white man. right?
About a white man?
Yes, it's about the so-called white man, brother.
Read Ephesians 6 and 12.
Brother, we've been there thousands of times, brother. You don't even know your nationality. You coming in, trying to say the so-called white man. We're gonna finish dealing
I'm
with
not
this
saving
sister.
a white man. The
Yeah,
Bible
you are.
says
Yeah, you are.
God
Hold
created
on. We're gonna finish before you
God so loved
before
the
you
world,
rudely
he
interrupt
gave
it. We're
his
gonna
only
finish
begotten
dealing with
son.
this
Now he
sister.
only love black
Before you rudely interrupt it, we're gonna finish dealing with this sister, right? We're gonna further prove that she's an Israelite, but you don't know your nationality, right? Yeah, you coming with a lot of verses and folly.
I mean,
You don't
I'm
know
telling
your
you what the
nationality.
scriptures say.
Come back when you know your nationality, brother.
What
Right?
does that mean?
Or at least humble
Read
down.
Romans. Read
Or at least
Romans.
humble down.
Read Romans. What
All
does
right, sister,
Romans
we're gonna jump back to you,
9 say?
sister. Hold on.
What does Romans
Go to
9
Deuteronomy
say?
28 and 28. Hold on, brother. Hold your peace, brother. Hold your peace. Hold your peace, brother.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter.
Hold on, sister Brandy. Check this out. Don't let him distract. Don't let nothing distract you. Right? Go on.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 49.
No, 28 and 28.
Okay, Slarky. Verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness, and blindness, and astonishment of heart. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in the darkness.
And surely the Lord has smitten our people with blindness and madness to the point where we believe in a multitude of doctrines that was given to us by the so-called white man. Ask any so-called black person of nationality, they're going to tell you they're a Christian, a color out of a crayon box, a continent in a country, right? And in the same breath, they're going to try to teach you doctrine, right? All the men of the Lord out the scriptures, they know their nationality, right?
What does John 3:16 say? Read John
Brother, you being
3:16.
rude. You being rude right now. You being rude. You being rude.
Can we debate?
You being rude, brother. You don't have no respect for your sister. You being rude. No, you being rude. At least wait. You being rude. At least wait, brother. At least wait. You being rude. You have no respect for your people. Sister, is everything making sense so far?
That's deception, man.
All right.
This is deception.
All right, brother.
At
Keep
its
it moving.
finest.
Brother, keep it moving.
At its finest.
Bring out Ecclesiastes 5 and 1. As soon as when we mention the white man, hold up. I got something to say. He mentioned the white man, I got something to say. Right? After 400 years of being oppressed, he still got something to say to try to justify the so-called white man and the works that he did upon earth. That's a shame.
The rape, the rob, the murder.
Bring that
You're
up.
trying to justify that
This is the book of
wicked-ass man?
Ecclesiastes, chapter 5, and verse 1. Keep thy foot.
Hold on, Salakia. Bring that up.
Ecclesiastes, chapter 5, and verse 1. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools.
The only verse, hold on, brother. The only verse our people know is John 3:16,
That ain't the
right?
only verse
Matthew
I know.
18 and 11.
That's the
Those
one
the
that's
hold on,
that's
like
gonna
I
get you
got.
out of
Those
this.
the only verses our people know,
That's the one
right?
that's gonna get
And
you
they
out
run
of
off
this.
with it. Read John 3:16.
Read it.
Read Galatians 3 and
Read
28.
it. What it was saying.
That's all our people know,
Can
right?
we debate? Can we debate? Can we reason? The Bible
Yeah.
says let us reason together.
Sister, you heard that?
Not perish, but shall have everlasting life. Yeah, I get what
Bring
you're
out John 17 and 9. Right now, this brother never heard of John 17 and 9. We assure you, right? Now, he probably going to go to John 17 and 9. Now, bring it up.
This is the book of John, chapter 17, verse 9. And it says, I pray for them. I pray not for the
I'm
world.
sorry, what did Christ say?
I pray not for the world.
Why did Christ say that?
Keep reading.
No.
Keep
Why did Christ say
reading.
that?
You can't listen. You can't
Brother,
take
we're going to break it down.
you
Since you
can't
don't really
take
know,
scriptures
since you're not going to humble down.
Backward. You going
All right,
backward.
brother, since
You
you're not going to
gotta
humble
read the
down,
entire
sister,
scripture.
we're going to break it down for you for edification's sake.
That's
Because the
false.
brother's prideful and he's mad he doesn't know. Bring it up. Bring it up.
This is the book of John, chapter 17, verse 9. I pray for them. I pray not for the world,
Right?
but for
Matthew
them,
18 and 11.
but for them which thou hast given me.
And who is giving unto Christ?
Keep reading. Keep reading.
Y'all know who is giving unto Christ?
It sounds like you proof texting, bro. What do it say?
Bring out Matthew
What's
18
in
and
the
11.
scripture, not what you saying.
Brother, we bringing out the scriptures. Don't be simple. Bring that out.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 18, and verse 11. For the Son of Man is come to save that which was lost.
And who is lost? Which people on earth are lost? In terms of that,
We
we are. In terms of nationality, what's your nationality? African American. What you say? Black. We are lost as a people, right? Hold on. Go to Jeremiah 50 and 6. Okay, you got it.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, and verse 6. My people have been lost sheep.
My people have what?
My people have been lost sheep.
And who is the sheep according to the Bible? Israel. Yasharallah, the 12 tribes. Go on.
Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains.
Right, and that's still happening today. A lot of the shepherds, a lot of the false preachers and pastors, they still destroying our people. To the point where all they know is John 3:16 and that they're a Christian. Go on.
They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place.
Right, they forgot the true resting place. Right? Go back to where you at. Oh, go back to John 17:9. Right? Because we have to find out who is giving it to Christ. Bring it
Right.
up.
God. John chapter 17, verse 9. I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine.
Right? But they are thine. Hold on. We're going to go precept upon precept because according to Isaiah 20 chapter, this is how you break it down.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 25, and verse 32. And it reads, and before him shall be gathered all nations,
All nations upon the face of the earth. 18, go on.
and he shall separate them one from another,
Go on.
as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats.
Go on.
And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left.
And who is the sheep? As we established, it's Yasharala Israel, pursuing the Micah the 2nd chapter and 12th verse. You shaking your head? Bring out a verse, brother. Bring out a verse that shows us that the sheep. Hold on, no, I didn't finish my sentence. I said, show me a verse where the sheep are referring to the other nations.
Show you a verse where the sheep are referring to the other nations.
Yes. You're not going to find it, brother. You're not going to find it. Go on.
Verse 33. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, come, ye blessed of my father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you.
It was prepared for them. Christ came for a certain group of individuals, specifically the Israelites. All right?
Can I ask you a question? You just asked me a question. I couldn't answer. Let me ask you a question. Are we the world, the Israelites?
Bring out Isaiah
Are we the
45,
world? What are
17.
we? Bring it out, brother.
We're going to go precept upon precept to answer your question.
Got you.
Who are we?
This
I'll
is,
show you who we are. All right?
this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 45 and verse 17. And check this out. And it reads, but Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded. World without end.
So Israel is a world of itself. You got the
Right.
sea world, you got the animal world,
Yep.
right? You got
Yep.
different worlds.
Yep.
Go Google
that
it.
a scripture?
Hold on. Go
Is that a
Google.
scripture?
Go Google the definition world. You'll find out that it means different groups of societies.
That's right.
Right?
That's
Let's
right.
see if the scriptures contradicting itself. Bring it up.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 2, and verse 1. And it came to pass, in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that the whole world should be taxed.
Brother, was all over there in Spain, was that taxed? Nope. Because it's talking about the world of Rome, right? That specific
I
world.
just know what the scriptures
Brother,
say.
we're showing you that there's different definitions to the word world. We're showing you that there's different definitions to the word world. Brother, you being simple, you don't want to hearken, right? Bring out Proverbs, drop it. Bring out Proverbs 15 and 23. The brother had to go confounded, right? Sagging his pants. How you gonna teach somebody when you sagging your pants?
Oh, you don't remember him?
And you got a belt on.
You remember him?
No.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 15 and verse 33. 32. And it reads, he that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul.
You heard that, Randy? He that what?
He that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul.
So that brother hate himself,
That's what?
right? He despiseth his own soul, right? He wake up, he think that he knows something, but he doesn't. Bring out Galatians 1 and 10. Right, we're proving to you, Brandy, that you're an Israelite. You got a lot of people deceiving in the world, saying this, that, and the third. They don't know what the hell is going on.
That's right.
Right, that's the main reason, one of the main reasons why we out here, right?
That's right. It's the book of Galatians, chapter 1 and verse 10. And it reads, for do I now persuade men or God? Or do I seek to please men? For if I yet pleased men, I should not be servant of Christ.
Right, he coming out here to please man. John 3:16. White man can be saved, this person can be saved. He's out here to please his oppressors. We're not here to please nobody but the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shemel Washad. All right? Go back to Deuteronomy 28 and 28, right? Because it goes back to the curses, like always. Shalom, shalom.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 28. And it says this. And it says this. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. And thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind grope in darkness.
Our people are spiritually blind. They have no idea what's going on, right? They can't rightly divide the word. They can't rightly understand what's going on in this chapter, and that chapter, and that chapter. That's why you have to roll off, right? Because according to the scripture, if a wise man heareth a word, he's going to add thereunto, right? But the wicked is going to cast it over his back because he don't give a damn, because he despises his own soul. All right? Go back to another curse. It's like, go to another curse. Go to verse 50. Go to 66.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 66. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life.
Doesn't that sound like us, sister? Right? We can't go out into the streets unless, we run into a cop, right? Or a brother wearing all blue or all red, right? So we curse everywhere we go, right? We fear it day and night. You said what?
Yeah, I know I
Bring it up.
Verse 67. In the morning thou shalt say, would God it were even.
Right. In other words, in the morning time, you're going to wish and pray to the Heavenly Father, Lord, I wish it was evening time. Because I know a lot of mischief and folly goes on in the morning, right? Carjackings, right? Rapes, go on.
And at even thou shalt say, would God it were morning. For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. Verse 67. In the morning thou shalt say, would God it were would God it were even. And at even thou shalt say, would God it were morning.
Right, and in the same breath, when it's evening time, you're going to wish it was morning, right? Because you got a lot of people breaking in at night, right? You got a lot of people robbing you at night. So you damned if you do, damned if you don't. No matter what time of the day it is, you always see a lot of judgment happen amongst you and your people. Go on.
For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see.
So you like these? You like what you're hearing so far? You like these curses? It sound good to you,
I don't like the curses.
right? But we stuck under them unless we what?
Yeah, we gotta take a stand.
Yeah, we got to take a stand. And what else?
We gotta take a stand. We also gotta stand up for what's right.
We got to stand up for what's right, but what's right? Because a lot of people think homosexuality is right.
No, that's not.
See?
It's not in the Bible.
Exactly. So how do we find out what's right and wrong?
I'm trying to teach her
You say you're trying to teach your daughter?
what's right and what's wrong.
All right, we're going to show you something. Go to Revelation 1 and 3.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 3. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy. Keep going.
So you're going to be blessed if you read, right? The whole Bible, right? Because this Bible is everything. It's our life, it's our living waters, it's the bread, it's the knowledge, it's the fruit, it's the diamonds, it's rubies, it's beautiful. Go back to the other verse you got. What's that? God, so you have to read. Hold that. Ecclesiastes 8 and 5.
It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8 and verse 5, and it reads, whoso keepeth the commandment shall feel no evil thing.
If you keep the commandments, you're not going to feel no evil thing. Go on.
And a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment.
But how do you know about the commandments? What do you have to do? You have to open up the Bible and read. That's why it says, blessed is he that readeth. Right? Because then you're going to be able to discern what's wrong and what's right. Right? If you read the book of Exodus, Genesis, you're okay. I know that's wrong. I know that's right. Make a little checklist for yourself. Write down notes when you read. Go on.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 21, verse 21. Learning is unto a wise man as an ornament of gold, and like a bracelet upon his right arm.
Right. Meaning you're going to be decked out in wisdom. Right? The more wisdom you acquire, the more comely you're going to look. Go on.
Verse 22. And it says, a foolish man's foot is soon in his neighbor's house, but a man of experience is ashamed of him.
Now go to Sirach 19 and 19.
Sirach chapter 19, verse 19. And it says, the knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life.
The what?
Is the doctrine of life.
Read it from the top.
The knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life.
The knowledge of the commandments of the Lord, that is the doctrine of life. You heard that, sister? Right? So what's life? The scriptures. All right? Is it making sense so far? All praises. Hold that. Go to Revelation 21 and 14.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 21, and verse 14. Revelation chapter 21, verse 14. And the wall of the city, What, 22 and 14? Go. Revelation chapter 22, verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life. And
You
may,
heard that, sister?
I think people just hate.
Bingo, right?
They just hate because they don't know the Bible.
That's right.
Revelation chapter 22, verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city.
You're gonna be blessed if you keep the commandments of the Heavenly Father. All right? And how do you know about the commandments? Bingo. You gotta read the Bible. You heard the sister. Clap it up for the sister. You gotta read the Bible. Right? A lot of people say you gotta read the book of what? The Book of the Dead. You gotta read the Kemet. Right? That's the book you gotta read. That's false. Right? That's a lie. Slucky.
It's the book of Joshua, chapter 3, verse 3. And it reads, and they commanded the people, saying, when ye see the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, your God. Okay, this book is Zechariah, chapter 3, verse 3. And it reads, now Joshua was clothed with filthy garments and stood before the angel. And he answered and spake unto those that stood before him, saying, take away the filthy garments from him. And unto him he said, behold, I have caused thy iniquity to pass from thee, and I will clothe thee with change of raiment. And I said, let them set a fair mitre upon his head. So they set a fair mitre upon his head, and clothed him with garments. The angel of Yahweh stood by. And the angel of Yahweh protested unto Joshua, saying, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, if thou wilt walk in my ways.
Walk in what?
If thou wilt walk in my ways, and if thou wilt keep my charge, then thou shalt also judge my house, and shalt also keep my courts, and I will give thee places to walk among thee, these that stand by.
In other words, you're gonna have a great big blessing, Brandon, if you keep the commandments of the Heavenly Father. You're gonna change, your life is gonna change to the point where you gotta change clothing, right? And by clothing, we mean doctrine, right? Because we've been wearing and walking in the lifestyle of America, Babylon, right? We've been wearing filthy clothing, right? Our garments are dirty. This is filthy rags. Okay? Not to get too deep. I don't want to get too deep. Go back to, hey, bring that out one. 21. Go back to Deuteronomy 28. Hold that one, go back to Deuteronomy 28 and 15. So, sister, what's the answer? So, like, what's the cure, or what's the antidote to eliminate these curses? Right? Brother don't know what's going on. Bring that out. Go back to that. Bring that out. 68 and 21.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 68, verse 21. But Yahweh shall wound the head of his enemies,
Right?
and the hairy scalp of such and one as goeth on still in his trespasses.
Right?
The Lord said, I will bring again from Bashan.
Right? He's going to destroy the wicked, right? The people that was always trying to be against him, right? Go back to that. Deuteronomy 28. Yeah.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So what's the answer? Huh? Yeah, praying is one thing, but we gotta keep the commandments. All right, we gotta keep the commandments. We gotta pray. And what else? How do you treat your brothers? Nice. Yeah, you gotta love your brothers. All right, go to Leviticus 19 and 17. You know how to love your brothers and your sisters and your family members. Now keep this in mind. Love is more than just a word, right? It's an action. Make sense? Yeah. Leviticus 19 and 17.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 17. And it says this, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
Check this out, Brandy.
And not suffer sin upon him.
He said what?
And not suffer sin upon him.
You can't suffer sin upon your brothers, right? And what's sin? Well, you know what sin is by definition? Yeah, it's something bad. We're going to show you in a book.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 3, verse 4. And it reads, whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law.
But sin is the transgression of the law, right? So bring that out one more time.
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him.
You don't want to suffer sin upon him. In other words, if you see a brother breaking the commandments of the Lord, you can't, turn the idle eye. It's like turn the idle eye and say, whatever, right? And that's suffering sin upon him. You have to correct him and rebuke him. That's love. If your kid do something awful or abominable, you're gonna correct them, right? And that's you showing love. You're not correcting them and punishing them because you hate them. You're doing it because you love them, right?
Because I love you.
You said what?
I don't want to do nothing wrong.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
I don't want to do nothing wrong.
You don't want to do nothing wrong, right? So you should feel the same way for your brothers and your sisters, the ones you don't know, right? We don't know a lot of these brothers and sisters that walk up and down the street, but we still going to tell them the law, statutes, commandments because we don't want to suffer sin upon them.
That's right.
Right?